Stocks steady after recovering from an early slip. Utilities and energy lead the gains while consumer durables stall. Biocon Biologics and Serum Institute rejigged their strategic deal, with Serum now picking up a 4.9% stake for $300 million in the former at a revised valuation of $6 billion. Serum's Adar Poonawalla tells CNBC-TV18 he isn't looking to up his stake at the moment. The Crompton Greaves consumer electric stock takes a battering after its CEO of over 7 years exits, and analysts fret over the new CEO's lack of operating experience in the sector. Nestle India beat street estimates on sales and profit, driven by its highest growth in a quarter over a decade. But inflation in prices of key input crimps margin. The stock slips on likelihood of input prices remaining firm. And Ipca Labs slips after it laps up a 33% stake in Unichem for over 1,000 crore rupees and plans an open offer for 26% stake in what's seen as a pricey deal. UPL also sulks on weaker tidings from global peer Adama, but Nelco and IIFL Securities jump post their earnings. Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Pavitra Parekh. Those are the top headlines that we have for you this afternoon. There's lots going on in terms of stock-specific action, but once again for the market, on the index level, it is very, very flat, just around 22 points higher for the Nifty. There you can see it, we're attempting another move higher right now after that earlier up got bought into. So that is what we are seeing for the markets, just around 20 points higher on the Nifty. Mid-caps absolutely in line. The banks are holding up well today, so it is a 135-point gain that you're seeing on the Nifty Bank and largely coming through what you're seeing on the PSU banks. So take a look at just that index. Today it's up around 1.5%, and you know, in this week, that's in just 2 sessions, it has seen a 4.5% up move. So there's definitely good momentum in this space. The advanced decline also, by the way, is quite positive, because you are seeing the small caps do very well today. So it's a near 0.8% move on the small cap index. So it's keeping the advanced decline positive, around 1,700 stocks advancing for just around 1,100, which are in the red. In terms of other pockets which are doing well, you have the Bajaj twins, which are doing well today, and the entire Adani group of stocks also holding up with good gains. So do keep that on your radar. On the downside, some of the pharma names and all of the HDFC group stocks. These are some which are standing out, but we'll talk more about the individual stock-specific action. Let's get to all of the news flow. We have Biocon, which is in focus, like we told you, after Biocon Biologics and Serum Institute have agreed to withdraw from their original equity structure. So Ekta is here with the details. Ekta, take us through what the new structure really looks like.
Thanks for that. Well, I'll start with the background on this particular deal. Remember that Serum had invested $150 million in 2021 for 15% stake at a $4.9 billion valuation in Biocon Biologics. The alliance with Serum gave Biocon access to 100 million vaccine doses over 15 years. The deal included access to COVID-19 vaccines. The deal was supposed to happen via merger with Serum's SPV, Covishield Technologies. Now, one of the reasons for the change of the deal contours is that the merger of the SPV did not get the requisite approval from the NCLT in Maharashtra. So now the deal is being restructured. Serum is now converting a $150 million bridge loan, which it had given Biocon Biologics in order to complete the Viatris deal, into equity. So that means with the $150 million that they had invested in 2021, along with this new $150 million that they've converted from loan to equity, their valuation, their current investment in Biocon Biologics would be $300 million for a 4.9% stake, for a valuation for Biocon Biologics at $6 billion. So what is important to note is that the valuations for Biocon Biologics has risen from $4.9 billion in 2021 to $6 billion, and the investment that Serum has made has risen from $150 million to $300 million. However, the amount of equity that they will access because of the valuations expanding is now 4.9% stake. Now, what this will do for Biocon Biologics is that they will use the funds to retire debt of around $150 million on their books. The company had also earlier indicated that they could consider further fundraising in order to retire further debt in Biocon Biologics. Now, Biocon Biologics will continue to have access to those 100 million vaccine doses from Serum, but remember that the COVID-19 vaccine demand has depleted quite significantly. So whether or not they would be able to deploy that $100 million, what the offtake would be is something that the street would watch out for. IPO possibly on the cards in FY26.
All right, Ekta, thanks a lot for taking us through all of the details there. In fact, on this, we also spoke with Adar Poonawala of Serum Institute as well as Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw of Biocon to really understand the contours of the new deal structure as well as their outlook going forward on this. So let's listen in to what they had to tell us.
The $300 million at the moment is a large investment, that one of the largest investments we've made in a strategic alliance. This will amount to a 4.9% stake now because the valuation of Biocon Biologics is close to around $6 billion, as I think Kiran Shaw had mentioned recently. This is a 10, 15-year horizon and vision that we're looking at. It's a 15-year arrangement. So there's plenty of time, to generate some good sales, through our other vaccines. And it's not just limited to vaccines that we make. In the strategic partnership, if Biocon and Biologics have opportunities and other vaccines that they find through their network and partners that they would want us to manufacture, we can manufacture that as well. So the agreement that we have now with them covers, and is not limited to all of these sort of opportunities. We've got a profit-sharing arrangement in the agreement, which shares the profits, of the vaccines that will be made.
There was an original deal that was struck in 2021 about offering a 15% stake in return for, certain financials linked to vaccines. Now that has been replaced by a straight equity, investment, whereas, Serum had already invested $150 million in Biocon Biologics, and there was a loan that is now being converted into equity, which will add another $150 million and make it an aggregate investment of $300 million. At an approximate aggregate valuation of $6 billion. So I think that's the change in the restructured arrangement that we now have with Serum Institute. The original 15% stake obviously is replaced with this, so you can do your calculations. The 300 million will then be given a stake at a $6 billion enterprise valuation, so you can do the math. So it won't be, obviously it'll be much lower than the 15% stake that was originally planned. We expect to still have access to the $100 million doses of vaccines, but it'll take a slightly, it'll take a different kind of orientation in terms of the way we commercialize the vaccines.
All right, that is the word coming in from both Biocon as well as Serum on this new revised deal. But with that, let's also move on because there's lots more coming through from the pharma space today. India's fourth largest pharma company, that's Mankind Pharma's 4,300 crore rupee IPO has opened for subscription. So earlier we spoke with Rajiv Juneja, who's Vice Chairman and Managing Director at Mankind, to really learn more about the company's post-listing plan. So let's listen in to what he had to tell us.
Gross margins of Panacea are more than Mankind, and once these products will be shifted, manufacturing will shift in our own factories, gross margins will further improve. Keeping everything in mind, this is a fantastic kind of a acquisition. This is basically one organization which is not properly, its products are not being properly utilized, exploited to the fullest. We feel we can do wonderful with this. We are a domestic company. 97% sales of Mankind comes from India only. So 97% focus is India. And we see as far as the consumer products are concerned, it's not number of products which matters. It's basically, the same products, how big it can become. So look at Mankind or Unwanted or Braga News. There can be a question that Braga News commands 80% market share, but people do not know. We are doing fantastic in metro. We are doing very good in rural.
All right, that is the word coming in from Mankind Pharma on their plans post-listing, and this is a big IPO which has now hit the street, 4,300 crore rupees there. But with that, it is time for a short break on the show. There's lots more news and action that we're tracking in just a bit, so stay with us. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch. Now, let me get you some updates on Air India. Sources are telling us that Air India has reached out to its staff members regarding the new employment contract. So, Danish is here to tell us more about that. Danish, what does the top management really have in store for pilots now?
Well, Air India top management has reached out to its employees defending its new employment contract, and according to sources, the top management has informed the pilots that the flying allowance rates that Air India is currently offering are one of the highest being offered in the Indian industry, which goes well beyond 40 hours. Similarly, the top management has also informed that as soon as the new management came in, they introduced a new compensation structure during the training period, and as far as the guaranteed flying hours are concerned, even that has been increased. But if we look at 70 hours of flying, then the income across the board has increased. And there were also certain queries and doubts regarding rostering, which the top management tried to clear, and they've clearly indicated that whatever rostering happens, that will happen in accordance to the DGCA rules and regulations. So all in all, if we see, the top Air India management has reached out to its employees defending its new employment contract.
All right, Danish, thanks a lot for bringing us all of the details. That is the latest on the new terms of employment. Welcome back. Let's bring you some updates now from the south. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has flagged off Kerala's first Vande Bharat Express from the state's capital. So we have Danish here with us to tell us more about the train as well as the features. Danish.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has flagged off India's 16th Vande Bharat train, which is the first for the state of Kerala, and we're on board that Vande Bharat right now, which is connecting Thiruvananthapuram to Kasaragod. We're currently inside the executive chair compartment of Vande Bharat, and you can see, just like an airplane, government has ensured that passengers get a good look and feel, and the entire journey should be comfortable. And you can see there's a center table over here, the very comfortable seats given for the passengers, and at the same time you can see that there is a lot of storage space that has also been provided, and at the same time there are power sockets for charging your devices. But talking about this Vande Bharat route, well, it is expected that the total travel time is likely to get cut by 3 hours, and the Thiruvananthapuram-Kasaragod-Thiruvananthapuram corridor will become one of the fastest Vande Bharat corridors in the southern part of the country. And very lastly, I would like to show you that the government and the Indian Railways has provided the screen which gives basic details about where the train is right now, what is the speed of the train, and which is the next station. And at the same time, government is also given option of infotainment. So all in all, if we see, Kerala's first Vande Bharat train is up and running, and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a very ambitious target to Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav of ensuring that there are at least 75 Vande Bharat trains running across the country in the times to come. With video journalist Akhilesh Singh, this is Danish Anand for CNBC-TV18.
All right, Danish, thanks a lot for bringing us all of the details and the features of this train as well. By the way, take a look at the Make Money Fine Chem stock, which has seen a sudden slip post its earnings. It's down 3% right now. So if you take a look at the profit figure, it has contracted around 22% on a year-over-year basis. There's been a sharp slip that has come through in the margin. So it was around 37%, and what we have now is a 27% in terms of the margin figure. So there's been that sudden drop that's come through in Make Money Fine Chem. Not like the stock was doing very well anyway. If you take a look at the year-to-date move, so this year it's down around 20%, but it had picked up, So the past 1 month, going into its results, it had picked up a little bit. But right now, looks like quite a disappointing set. Almost 4% gone on Make Money Fine Chem. But with that, let's also move on. Right, extremely disturbing visuals coming out of Sudan there. So we hope everybody is safe and that the rescue operations can progress properly. That is the latest that we're tracking on the conflict. And with that, we're going to wind down on this edition of Business Lunch with a very, very flat market on our hands. Just around 30 points in the green for the Nifty. Thank you for tuning in. Mid-cap radar up into.